Okay, here we go. Look at this. That is, my wheel chock is really in there, solid. I just lowered the back end, playing with the exhaust. Well, we're back. Another episode of Cool Whips Garage. We just came back from a cruise to shore, a charity for abused women and children, which is really sad. So we drove the whole North Shore, which was started off at Capilano University. We drove out around Rocky Point, all that way down up the highway, blah blah, all the way out to Horseshoe Bay and back. It's like 2 hours approximately. There we go, North Shore. Anyway, now they're having a barbecue, but RC and I aren't having a barbecue. You know why? Because we're filming content for you. Because right now, enjoy your cars. So when you watch this, you will already have enjoyed your cars, and then you're like, hey, it's raining, it's crappy, the weather's getting shittier. Plan for next year. Well, at least that's what we do in British Columbia, Canada, because we've got until October-ish, and then that's it. You're not taking any of this out there. This doesn't get driven in the rain. This is Miranda. So 1969 Corvette Stingray, and I've had her for like 20 years. Named her Miranda after Miranda Kerr. When I saw her, I go, she's curvy. That's the first thing I thought of. She's curvy. And there was a Victoria's Secret fashion show. You know when they were really good? Miranda Kerr was one of the big models. She was married to Orlando Bloom, I believe, at the time. Not anymore. And but that's where I got the name, so I called her Miranda. We have done a lot over the years. When I picked her up in 2005, it was in a barn in Nanaimo, and there was rats living in it. So it was one of those, yuck. And the custodian, he had passed away, and the wife and kids, it had inherited it. I made a deal, and she became mine. We didn't want to lose the deal, and we wanted to get her out of there. We put fluids in her, brought a battery, started her up, ran rough, you know, tweaked the carb a little bit, and we drove her over here, got her on the ferry. The ferry was hilarious because all the shocks were blown too, so she was riding actually as low as this. When it's this low, you can't get on the ferry. So we had to lift her up onto the ferry. At that point, we started bringing her back to life as like the Blue Ribbon Corvettes. Everything, you know, everything I ordered was original equipment, stupid expensive. Bring it back to original spec of 1969. I don't know if that was a smart move or not, because it was so expensive. It's not like Mustang parts, where they're reasonably priced. Corvette parts for old Stingrays, expensive. Anyways, we did get her back, and you know, over time, driving her around, you pull up to a stoplight, someone with a Civic pulls up beside you, and he wants to have a race. What the heck? That's not what these cars were like. Actually, they were fast, but they couldn't stop. And with the old brake system, this one originally vacuum boost brakes, but you know, I had modified the engine so it was running a lumpy cam with 850 double pumper. Way too much carbureted, but I happen to have it, so I put it in. And so the vacuum was really low. With low vacuum assisted brakes, it wouldn't stop quickly. Now we've upgraded her, and she's a lot better. I should have probably cleaned up the under the hood before we lifted it to show. But there we go, RC. You can see under there. This is an original 001 high nickel block. Period correct. The original engine is actually pulled out and it's in a shelf somewhere, with a whole bunch of other car parts for other vehicles. But back in the day, they were higher nickel, they were stronger blocks, not what they have now. They're heavier, but it looks correct. When I was at the car show this morning, everyone says, oh my gosh, real naturally aspirated, carbureted engine. It's not carbureted. It looks like it. That's a Holley Sniper EFI under there right now, if you can see. So you'll see a little bit of computer harnesses and wires. It looks like a carb, but it's EFI. So that means she will start. That means less problems. But with a lumpy cam, O2 sensor. So this morning when we went on the drive, I had to kill the O2 sensor because it's a hot day, and if it was learning in this temperatures and all that, and we're going up elevation, it's going to run rich, it's going to run lean, and it's going to be a shitty experience. So I went to just flat mapping after this morning, and she drove great. You'll see in there Willwood brakes, which go with the Willwood brakes up here, the 6 pistons. So they look good. You know, not bad for just coming back from a car show and not washing. Can you see here? This is a Hydro Boost. You'll see there, that goes to Hydro Boost down here. So we have the power steering, power brakes, EFI. So she will start, she will stop, and she goes nicely. If you can see, let's go around the back. RC, if you can get underneath here. Hey, Lucky. Don't bother Lucky, he's nap time. But if you get under here, see all the exhaust there. You'll see up there, there's the fuel pump up there. So for the EFI, custom Ridetech. So this is actually 69 dual adjustable Ridetech suspension in the rear, and in the front, it's actually from a C2. So in order to get, when we originally put the C3 Ridetech suspension in the front, it stuck out nicely, but it was raised too high. The car was way too high. Right now it looks like there's a bigger gap because my driveway's lopsided, and I just lowered it for jacking, but it was sitting too high. So I talked to Ridetech, they said, well, the C2 suspension says lower, but it's in further. So we went that and just changed an offset for the wheel to stick back out. Yeah, there. That side was jacked up, this side wasn't. So once I drive it forward, it'll settle. So this, if you can see in there, can you see under here? Or I'll lift this up. Boom. There. Well, there's the top of the adjustable shock. There. So it changes the suspension a lot, and so this car actually could be auto crossed. It is a convertible. Beautiful. So Al Knock made the top. This is clean that up. This is a canvas top. It's the same material that they use on BMW. The original one was vinyl, and I didn't like that. But when this is all put on and tight, oh, look at that. So there, she looked really pretty in there. For a 1969 who gets driven, and this hasn't been cleaned up well, she looks really good right now. So we can put this down. I'll pop that down. There we go. And I'll show you what it looks like. You stick it in here. We'll just drop this down. Boom.
That's pretty easy.
Really easy. We'll clean that up a little bit. But see how tight it is? Ah, beautiful. So now we can drop this down. Get rid of this show and shine. Well, you'll see inside. I should have showed you that too, but you know, get a good view from it. This, the Stinger hood didn't come in a C3. It was actually on the C2. And what I did is, when it was carbureted on the Edelbrock high-rise manifold, there's no way I could get an air cleaner without sticking it out through the hood. So I cut a hole. It's perfectly in line, so it allows air to go across the air filter and cooler air into the engine, right? What does that mean? More power. I put that on there. No one knows, and no one, unless you're a purist, do they ever get it. A lot of people love it. And the stripe is actually a Baldwin Motion. So Baldwin Motion started doing, just like Yenko back in the late 60s, early 70s, started doing stuff. So this is a Baldwin Motion stripe that I put on her. I like it. It's been this paint scheme since 2008. So, you know, she's 18 years old of this paint. It's not a perfect paint job, but you know what? We keep on cut polishing it. I was just at the paint shop, and he says, you know what? Why don't we just sand it down, touch up a few places, sand the whole thing, wet sand the whole thing down, and if all the black and the gray are there, he goes, I'm just going to re-clear it, put like 4 layers of clear, and then we cut polish it down, and she's going to look like a diamond. I said, yeah, let's do it. But anyway, there she is. What else do we got? 383 stroker. It's not as powerful as an LS, but this thing only weighs 3,000 pounds. And even when I got rid of the leaf spring suspension and put the coilovers, that means it's even lighter. And this when it was out, my guys, they were lifting the hardtop off. I also have a hardtop, and the factory whip antenna goes up here. They said we couldn't get it over, so they put this on, and I said I really don't mind that. It shaves 1 ounce. We weighed it on the scale. It's 1 ounce lighter. I don't even know how that. Maybe because the other one's all metal. This is plastic. This has crappier reception though. The interior, if you see, I had a guy import some leather from Italy, and then he did the diamond stitch on it. That was done 12 years ago. So we're thinking about it. The newest thing was the Alcantara steering wheel, which a local guy did for me 3 years ago. But otherwise, everything is classic. I love the split chrome bumpers at the back. What do we got in there? Flowers, cherry blossom. I don't know what else we know. We just put new tires on it, Pearly P0s, because the old ones I cooked off. And these ones are quite a bit bigger than stock. And the reason is, it fills the wheel well better. With the stock rims, there's such a big gap. And the big gap doesn't look good. This car is not meant to do quarter mile, although I did take it to the drag strip. And I realized that you're under 12 seconds, you need a roll cage. I never knew that. Not that it's under 12 seconds, it's close. You just get in trouble. So I don't need that. If I want a car that quick, this M4 is the fastest. You've seen it.
I've
with
seen it.
Street tires, 1117. I want to put drag radials on it either the end of this year or beginning of next season. I want a 10-second car. So there we go. Stingray. And a little tidbit of information. On the C3s, Stingray is one word. On the C2s, it was 2 words. And then there was no Stingray until it came back, C8. We're going to take this out with our friend who has the C8 Z06, and he actually put the Lambo doors on it, and it's black. So we'll have 2 Corvette Stingrays, black, one C3 and one C8, and we're gonna do a video. Should be fun. I don't know what else to say. RC, can you think of anything? The factory radio still works. There she is, 1969 Corvette Stingray, AK Miranda. And no, she's not for sale. Oh, 4-point harness. Was 5-point. I took the 5th out because why do you need one in your crotch? Actually, I don't even. Why do I have 4? This originally didn't even have. It only had a lap belt, so there was no shoulder belt. So, but what happened is, when you're driving with just the lap belt, guess what happens?
You still die?
No, die. Police pull you over
For no.
and they're like, "Hey, you're not wearing your seatbelt." Yes, I am. Well, we don't see your shoulder. Where's your shoulder strap? It didn't have one. Well, you're supposed to have that. The car didn't come with it. It's just like here. There's no front plate. Where would you put a front plate? I don't know. Do you know?
I don't know.
If I put it here, that goes right to your radiator. Then she's gonna heat up and cook, overheat in the highway. Make they didn't have plates back then. So there we go. Back again. Miranda, she's a beaut. So listen, this is how easy she is. Lucky, you ready? You ready, Lucky? Lucky is 13 years old, and he's got retinal cancer as well as skin cancer, but he's in no pain, so he just likes to hang out and chill with me. So we're gonna start this bad baby up, and you're gonna hear how she sounds. Idle. It is an automatic, turbo 400. It's going to idle down and balance out, Holley EFI. And then if I put her in gear, she will lump down into the low settings so that she can be idling at 650 to 700. And what do you get at 650 to 700? You get pure bliss. Listen to that. RC, does that sound cool?
Sounds good.
That sounds so good. Lucky, do you need your seatbelt? I have 4-point harnesses in here, but I'm not sure if you knew, in '69 there was only a lap belt But in British Columbia, I've been pulled over and said, "You're not wearing a seatbelt." I said, "I am. It's a lap belt." And just because I don't want to be pulled over for no reason, I put a 4-point Heinerson. Not a 5-point, because I don't need the crotch one. This is my driveway, so I'm not being a hoonigan. Not warming up. She's at like 160 degrees right now. She's got some good torque. Putting it to EFI means she can learn with the O2 sensor, and even with the lumpy cam, the way I've tuned her up till midnight last night, and then at Chevron, and I didn't want to piss off people, so I came home, and then I waited till 8 this morning to get her back in. But you want to go behind, RC?
Nothing slow.
You didn't realize. Oh, I forgot about that. Did it hit the other one? Oh well. Forgot about that one. Anyways, there she is. So that's Miranda, and she still has power. I'm on an incline in my driveway. My neighbors love it when I do that. I'm always seem to be doing it because you just need to get out of your driveway quickly. 1969 Corvette Stingray, AK Miranda, Cool Whips Garage. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe. Click below. Enjoy. We shut that down. Okay, let's go here, and we'll go back in, and we'll say, we just opened the garage door, but you know what? Here's another thing. We can go in here. Actually, I got all the kill features and stuff like that as well in here. But what I love about this has cool fiber optics. So there's a left tail, license plate, right tail, up here are the left fronts. And so if I put on the brakes, do you see that? These light up?
Yeah.
So it's fiber optics. There's a fiber optic cable that's by the light bulb that shows that and lights it up so I can see what's everything on. But if we go to the radio, this, do you want to get the other side? This is the factory radio, and it wasn't working when I got it. So I took it apart because I'm a fool, and I got it working again. So if she's working, all the gauges, every single gauge works as well. And you know what I'm going to do? Because it is hot and it is summertime, we're going back. So this is my little pillow I had made. You could buy them, but I asked someone to make it for me and they made it. And there she goes.
Is that right?
Huh?
It's like what, 30 seconds?
I don't know.
Maybe less?
For me, quick.
Yeah, we put a timer.
But it all works. And has a convertible. You got it as a hard top. I mean, sorry, I didn't bring the hard top. You got it as a soft top convertible, and now you got it down. This is the best way to roll. When you're riding with it like this, I'll tell you something funny. At first it was like a moment. I'm driving down the road, and this has happened twice. I'm not sure if it just happens to be the same person at 2 different locations in the Lower Mainland. But I'm driving down the road, and I hear, Jackie Chan, Rush Hour. Do you get the reference? What the heck? What was it? Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan, Rush Hour. This was Chris Tucker's car in the movie, and he was handcuffed to the steering wheel. Remember that? It is not that easy to get that steering wheel off, so I don't know how he did it. He would have had to have a screwdriver in his hand, but he could do it. The other one I get a lot is it's just sex on wheels. She's been called that a lot, but every day it's praise and love. Everyone loves this car. There's no haters, believe it or not. And I don't do that hoonigan stuff in front of people or where there's children or stuff like that. Like I said, we just did a cruise to the shore in North Vancouver this morning for abused women and children. So we're always giving back, and we want to help out the community. This is a community we love, and the car community is a strong community. And if you have these cars, you have a little extra money, so it's better to give back and help those who are less have less than you do. So anyway, there she is. I think we got everything. Stingray. Actually, did I talk about? So you see the Willwoods in there. Actually, the placement on here is almost beautiful. These rims here are Boss 308s, and on here we have these 265, 45, 18s. The original wheels were really skinny, and not that wide. So once you have a tuned engine, you just, every time you hit the gas pedal, you're just leaving rubber. So we went wider. Could we go a little bit wider? I probably could go 275, but not with these rims. I'd have to get a fatter rim. I like this old torque thrust look. It's just classic, iconic. Everyone always says, oh, why don't you put a modern rim on it, or a 20-inch rim? You put a 20-inch rim on a classic like that, that's sacrilegious, sorry.
That's like blasphemy.
It is. It's just not right. So they're meant to have a little, like when I went there, they go, oh, these tires are too bulbous for this. No, it's not. It's supposed to look like that. You want a little bit of that. The old tires, when they were, the old rim, the old rim in the back, 15s, they were bulgy. So I think this looks really good. I don't know, RC, what do you think? We can have people comment below. Do they like the Boss 308 torque thrust look rims? I actually bought these rims in 2007. Holy cow, that's a long time ago.
That's a long time.
You know, that's 18 years ago, and I think they still look good. I haven't even polished them or done anything. I was just driving it. The tires I should clean up a little bit, but you know what? I got nothing bad to say. You know what? Sometimes she gives me attitude, but with a classic car like this, you just gotta love them and say, hey, good girl, and she'll treat you right. I think she treated me right. What else? Oh, did you see the hood pins? So what happens is when you're driving around legally and you go through intersections that have big bumps, the stock hood pins would often pop one side of the hood up, and because the car's so low and the suspension's stiffer. So luckily it's a clamshell, so if it was a front one and they pop up, that would really bad, but it's the clamshell. So we added these hood pins just recently, and I mean, if someone's gonna break in, they're gonna break in, right? So I don't think it really matters. Boom, those hood pins, a lot cleaner. I think we're gonna powder coat this, and the engine bay has to get refreshed. The last time I had this, like I told you, refreshed it was when I did this engine, which was also around 2008 for the engine. That engine actually, let me tell you a little story. I don't think I told earlier, but this is a 383 stroker, so it's got 400 crank in it. It's a 001 block, which means it's a high nickel block, so it's stronger than a typical one. It was made by Doug Herbert, and it's got his brother's cam, a Chet Herbert cam, but it's a really lumpy cam, so the overlaps are really close, and that's why when you heard it start up, it's which is just music. But Doug Herbert was Snap-on Tools top fuel drag driver back in the day, and I can't remember the exact day, but this was close to one of the last motors I believe he was actually put his hands on, but someone will have to correct me, because unfortunately his kids, they died in a car accident, which is really, really sad. So I don't know. I was told at the time that, hey man, you might get the last motor. I don't know if that has any value. To have naturally aspirated period correct motor in there, I think it's cool. The powder coating that was done too to match the Baldwin Motion stripes is really cool, because that was powder coated at the same time. You know, this is 17, 18 years ago. So one thing we were thinking about doing, I should tell you right now, is MSD distributor, and it's got an MSD box under there on the inside. Turn around, it's upside down now. Yeah. Doesn't speak well with the Holley Sniper EFI. So I just realized that this weekend when I let someone else tune it, because I've always been tuning by ear, and in the old days when it was a carburetor, I would rejet it and tune it myself. And not many people can tune carbs anymore. You just gotta know it. You gotta feel it. You use the force. But the same thing here. I had to use a little bit of the force because it doesn't have a spark control. And the only thing mechanical is the IAC. Other than that, I think if I modify it and take out the MSD and take out the MSD controller, distributor and controller, and I put in a Holley one, then the whole thing will be Holley. I bet you she'll run even better. Even though she's running amazing now, I think she'll run even better. And you just kind of love the lumpy cam. So one of the things you might have noticed is when it was in neutral, it doesn't have it doesn't have, on this one, it doesn't have two settings where I can have a neutral switch that when it's in neutral, it'll keep the idles lower, and then when you put it in gear, it will adjust and compensate. I don't have that. So that's why at idle, it's running around 1300. IAC is like 0. When I put it into gear, that's optimally where I want it, right? I want that idle, that lumpy cam to be heard. So I want it in that 650, 720 range. I want it right there. At that, I want that IAC sitting somewhere between 3 and 10. That way, it's not gonna starve itself out and die. I can hit the gas, and you would have probably already heard it. Would they already heard it right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. When I hit the gas, you'll hear it. It leaves rubber, and they're brand new tires, so they're sticky. So new Pirellis. So I don't know. I think everyone should have one. Go get yourself a 1969. You know, another beautiful point I'm going to mention about this. I said earlier that everyone loves it. It's always thumbs up. One lady once approached me and says, "Oh, that's a gas guzzler." I said, "Well, actually, right now with the EFI in it, electronic fuel ignition," I said it runs really good. I'm getting 16 plus miles per gallon. Never did. When I had the 850 double pumper, which was, like I said, too much carb, and then I went down to a 650. At the 850 and the 456 gears, hello, it's like 4 miles per gallon. Ridiculous. Well, now I have multiple times that. There you go. And so, see, Lucky was even doing the math. He put up his paws. But right now, she's running really good. Even the vacuum works, and the headlights will pop up, and the windshield wipers pop up. They're hidden under this cowl. Everything worked. Like I was saying, this lady, when she said that, I said, you know, it's running better. And I said, it's also not in a landfill. So think about that. And she goes, you know what? Actually, that's a good point. I remember my husband's car. He had a Camaro, blah, 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 blah. These are the stories you remember talking to people, right, when you see them. And they love the classics. Even today, we were out at this classic cruise. Everyone loves the classics and has a story about, oh, their father, their uncle, their grandfather who had a classic Ford or Chevy. Typically, that's what it was, right? Back in the day. And how cheap they were, right? And they were. The original build on this wasn't even $2,000, I think. Now, I don't know. Well, I'm not even going to say the price. I can say it from what it was back in 1969. But yes, been offered some good money for this. But she's not going anywhere because she's part of the family. She loves us back. We just take care of her. Hopefully, my kids will get to enjoy her. But everything in there. Do you see the Be Cool radiator with the electronic fan? Yeah, we had to do that because we need the fan running even after we shut her off to cool her down. And also, the original radiator would not keep this thing would be running at 220 degrees, 225 degrees. It's cooking, and you can just feel the heat coming into the car. It's deadly. So I switched the radiator. I added one of these electronic fans, hooked it up with the EFI. It kicks in at, what I got it right now, 170 degrees, and then it keeps it around 170 degrees. We were stuck in traffic today for this cruise, and I'm just sitting there waiting for traffic to move, and the most it creeped up to was 190. I have had days where brutal traffic at, noon in the sun beating down on you, and it gets up to 205, but that's acceptable. That's totally acceptable. Once you get going, then it immediately cools back down. It'll be in the 195-ish range at that point. But otherwise, if it's at night, it's always staying at 170. If it's cool or a cool day, it's always staying at 170. I think she's awesome. I put the serpentine belt on there to make everything run run better, especially when I added the Hydro Boost, right? With the Hydro Boost and Borgeson brake booster, it's all running on the same power steering system. So we have the brakes and we have the steering all running off of that same system. Ceramic coated headers. And did you see underneath? I guess you did see the custom exhaust with that flange, that flex flange, which is the braided line, which is rubbing on a few speed bumps. So I don't know what I'm going to do there. I was debating raising the rear end just a little bit. Like, where are we now? That's not much. See, can you see the gap? That's not much. I was thinking about raising another just 1/4 inch, couple spins on the adjustable shocks, just to get a little bit more clearance. But maybe that exhaust has to be pulled out and the flex joint has to be put a little bit further back, because right now the flex joint is in the middle between the two tires, which doesn't make sense. It has to be either forward towards one tire or backwards of the other one. If you see where it dips down here, it's at this tire point, so it's not going to rub. What's the plans? What's the future of this car? What's the future of Miranda? I would love to. So when it ran hot, I added this NASA heat shield under here. This is some lining they put on space shuttles and something like that. Anyways, at least that's what they sold me on. But I want to pull it out, and I actually want to paint, when we repaint it, paint that as well inside, and it'll be all gloss, and maybe we'll put a mural or something. Lucky, do you want your face on the inside of the hood? Who knows? Something's gonna go in there. Can you imagine that? There's a little puppy head there. That will happen. Comment below on this one. Do I put an LS in it? It wouldn't be an LS1, it'd probably be LS3 or something else. LS7? No, just too crazy. Do we put an LS in it? Then it's, when you pop the hood, you see a modern engine. That's a different cool factor than the classic. Let me know what you think. The other one is, do we get rid of the Turbo 400? But I've got a shift kit in there, and if you look at it, you couldn't even tell, but the knob looks great. The knob even matches the paint job. You know, when you first look into it, I was going to put a shift boot on it, but then I didn't want to be that much, to go that crazy into it. But what do you think? Do we put a Tremec 5-speed in it? 6-speed, I don't want to mess with the center console, but you really don't need a 6-speed. I'm not going to be going that fast anyways. This thing, you don't want to be driving at 200 kilometers an hour. They weren't meant for that, and definitely not for long distance or corners. But now she will take it, but still, you don't want to. This is a cruiser muscle car. You want to do quick pulls and make noise. But yeah, so there you go. Two things. Do we put an LS and take out the 383 stroker? But that's a beautiful engine. Do we take out the Turbo 400 with the shift kit in it, B&M shift kit out of it, and put in a Tremec 5-speed? Comment below.